Good afternoon. Welcome to Century High School, home of the Panthers. We are proud to have our second graduation ceremony. This is the 1 o'clock ceremony. We are so proud of our students and our staff and how they've gotten our students to this point in the wonderful pandemic that we've been living through here. So this is our dignified ceremony. This is our celebration for these seniors. So if you would please rise at this time and let us remember the men and women who have served to protect and defend our nation's freedom as we play our national anthem. Again, guests and graduates, welcome. One housekeeping item that I forgot to mention, please make sure your cell phone is on silent as we go through this ceremony. Our first speaker today is Salma.
Okay, I'm kind of nervous, but here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Salma Ahmed, and it is my absolute pleasure as your acting student body president to welcome you all to the 22nd annual Century High School graduation ceremony. This past year has been everything but short of normal. Between not being able to see each other's faces to missing out on the senior section in Pep Fest, we really drew the shortest straw this year. Mom, if you're listening, that's just an analogy. Nobody's drawing straws. Now, I could stand here and tell you about the long list of challenges we had to face this year, but I won't. I could tell you about the unfair end to tons of sports and activities, but I won't. I could go on and on about how even not getting to graduate as a whole class is incredibly unfair, but I won't. Now, what I will say is that there are no better groups of people to face these challenges than the individuals sitting in front of me today, the class of 2021, even if we got the short end of the stick. Mom, if you're still listening, that is also just an analogy, meaning we got unlucky. There's no actual sticks involved. On behalf of the class of 2021, we would like to thank everyone who helped us make it here. Thank you to our parents for giving us the loads of tools to get to this moment. Thank you to our teachers for doing the impossible, adapting lesson plans to teach teenagers online. And thank you to our coaches and club advisors for helping us adjust to our new normal. Finding a supportive group of adults is just as hard as finding a needle in a haystack. And Mom, for the last time, if you're not easily distracted on the level 531 of Candy Crush right now, that is just an analogy. No needles, no haystacks. This year may have been unconventional, but it is unforgettable all at the same time. To the class of 2021, congratulations for making it here despite all of the circumstances. To the family, friends, and alum in the audience, congratulations for being our 6 favorite people, and thank you for everything you've done for us over the last 4 years. Your endless support is what made this year easier. It is my pleasure to sign off for the last time as your student body president. Thank you.
Our commencement speaker today at the 1 o'clock ceremony is Blake Hillman, member of the class of 2021.
Now, there was one question that throughout high school always bothered me. When are we going to apply any of the facts we learn? Now, to some point, both sides of this question are legitimate. The kids asking the question are focused on a particular piece of information that, depending on the future circumstances, might not apply, like solving trigonometric equations or the specific details of Hamlet. But the teachers also have a point in just getting a common knowledge base for us and post-secondary skills for our future. So I decided to share 3 lessons I learned throughout high school that had almost nothing to do with the curriculum, but everything to do with life. The first lesson is from 9th grade biology. For the teacher would start that class, first 15 minutes with the same question. What do you want to learn about today? For no matter how the kids answered, he would always relate the question to biology. Now, some people in the room thought this was a complete waste of time, but I see it differently. See, all he was trying to do was give us a choice in what we learned that day, since the rest of the curriculum really wasn't. He would spin it to biology just to keep it somewhat relevant to the subject. In life, a similar phenomenon happens. Especially at this age, a lot of your day-to-day life is not really decided for you, but what you make of it is. For a school-related example, you might have to take biology, have to take math, or have to take history, but how many times you take it, how much you retain of it, and how well you do in it is up to you. This class taught me to always be accountable for my part in life and to take advantage of the choices that I get to make. And the second lesson I will share is from my 9th grade English teacher. For every year, I would go up to a room and talk about what was bothering me during my off hours. In my sophomore year, I started noticing that almost everybody else she had in class was doing the exact same thing. And I started to wonder, why was everyone comfortable around her? I mean, her listening skills and advice were amazing, but a lot of teachers are good at those things. So what made her so special? And then I realized something when I left the room one day. The door was unlocked and the light was on, even though she wasn't there. Now, this might not matter to a lot of people, but I see it as her choosing to help other people at all costs. Even if she couldn't physically be there, she was doing something. Not ideal, not perfect, but something important. Through this, I realized how much even the smallest of gestures can impact people's mood and confidence in themselves and others. The final lesson I'm going to share is from 10th grade English. For in that class, I read what would be my favorite book I ever read in school, The Great Gatsby. The specific piece of The Great Gatsby that will always get me is the last paragraph. For Gatsby believed in the green light, the orgastic view of the future that year by year recedes before us. It eluded us then, but that's no matter. For tomorrow we will run faster, stretch out our arms farther, and one fine morning, so we beat on, boats against the current, borne back ceaselessly into the past. Now let me ask you a question. Who turns off that green light? Nobody. But why? Nobody needs it. Why not just turn it off? Well, that's because it was never just Gatsby's light. In my view, this page isn't meant to finish the story of Gatsby, but meant to start the new story of the reader. In the book, Nick chooses to be pessimistic about what the green light represents, but I have chosen to be more on the optimistic side of things. For the green light, in my mind, is the symbol of dedication to your future and your belief in achieving it. It will only turn off when you want it to be off. So I leave all of you with one question. Where will your green light lead you?
Our 1 o'clock faculty member addressing you this afternoon is Mr. Michael Eckerman, a member of the Social Studies Department.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here, and thank you for that wonderful introduction, Mrs. Denzer. It's pretty amazing that we're here. In one of my all-time favorite 80s, I'm a student of the 80s. I grew up in the 90s, but the movie's The Princess Bride. And one of my favorite characters, Vizzini, has a line he exclaims more than once. Inconceivable! All right, everyone knows that line. I love that line. That is what many of us thought about the possibility of being here today, all right? For in person, no mass for graduation. I am so incredibly honored to be part of this inconceivable celebration with all of you. And before I begin, I just want to take a quick moment in honor of Memorial Day on Monday, and I'm a history teacher, the 77th anniversary of D-Day tomorrow, to thank any veterans present and those who can't be present with us. For your sacrifice and your service. It's much appreciated. And Charles Schultz said, it's not where you go, but who you travel with. And as I look around, I can't quite see on this side, but I see lots of family and friends, some faces I recognize. And I want to say thank you to all of the travelers who came with the class of 2021. Without you, these last 2,275 days, that's how many days, give or take, or minus, I guess, a snow day or a Wi-Fi day, you've had from kindergarten, wherever you began, to here, graduation day. So thank you for all your blood, sweat, and tears. And last but not least, I welcome the class of 2021. Many of you I recognize, I've had in class. If I haven't, I regret that. But I wish you the best. You know, as Dory said in Finding Nemo, just keep swimming, and that's what you did this year. You just kept swimming. As I sat down to plan these comments, I went to the one room in my house that we all love. And it's probably the same room maybe you like to go to a lot. Any guesses? The kitchen, right? And we love it because we got food there. My kids are there all the time, getting into the pantry, and my cat even tries to get into the pantry all the time. And I would argue some of the best moments of life happen at the kitchen table. You know, so many wonderful moments. Many of you could probably tell me, family dinner, birthday party, well, some of those deep talks of life happen around the kitchen table. And many of you go home today after the ceremony, and you'll sit at that table, you have a party, you have a celebration with all these wonderful people that are here. And in a few days, weeks, months, you will leave your home, and you will leave that kitchen table, but it will remain. You know, my point is that time truly does march on. There are no timeouts, whether we're facing a global pandemic or the end of your K-12 experience. I think it was Ferris Bueller who said it best. He said, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. So graduates, take a moment right now and look around. See your parents, your guardians, your family and friends up here in the stand. Seriously, look. I'm sure they're looking at you. Wave. Take a picture, parents. You know, it's like, this is important. We're here. I know I'm saying some words, but that's why we're here, is all of these people. And, you know, I have a sign in my room. It's from another 80s movie, Dead Poets Society, Carpe Diem. You know, seize the day. This is your day. You're going to walk out those doors. Well, not those actual doors. You're going to walk out some other doors. But you're going to walk out somehow and get out of the gym. And when you leave here, it's never going to be the same. I do remember 26 years ago my graduation, and it's special. So speaking of soaking it up, my daughter graduated, her 8th grade graduation a few nights ago, and she had the honor of being the keynote, the welcome speaker. And I'm a sentimental guy. My wife is not sentimental. I'm the one that cries. And I'm sure many of the esteemed guests here are feeling that moment right now because they're looking at you saying, this is it. You made it, and this is it. And at my daughter's graduation, she had the honor of giving that speech, and she shared her voice. And that's what I want to quickly go over with you, how to share your voice, you know, with the world. So I have 3 questions I want you to consider. Question number 1, how can you use your voice to bring people together? You know, I strongly believe that our relationships lead us to unity. You know, COVID-19 and the many challenges we have faced this last year show us the essential importance of that, of family, of relationships, of the people in our lives. And that's how we come together. We're always stronger together. Now, Gandhi said, our ability to reach unity in diversity will be the beauty and the test of our civilization. So, class of 2021, listen to each other, connect with each other, find that common ground. Question number 2, how can you use your voice to spread kindness? All right? I strongly believe that by showing kindness, you create love, and we know we could always use more love in the world. And on the topic of love and kindness, Mother Teresa said, spread love wherever you go. Let no one come to you without ever leaving happier. These are very wise words to live by. And lastly, question number 3, how can you use your voice to be of service to humanity? I strongly believe that through your service to others, you will make a lasting and positive impact on our world. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, life's most urgent and persistent question is this: what are you doing for others? These words could not be more important or more true today. Find ways to serve, give of your immense talents, of your time. Nothing, right? It's my dad moment. Nothing will make you feel better. I promise. I say it to my kids all the time. My youngest never forgets when I say something. So, in closing, every morning I sit at my kitchen table, the same one I sat down to write this speech, and I read a beautiful quote my wife wrote on the chalkboard in there from St. Madeleine Barat. And it's powerful in its simplicity. It says, be humble, be simple, Bring joy to others. Class of 2021, I encourage you to be humble. Strive to be a uniting voice in our world. Be simple by simply spreading kindness, by spreading love. And bring joy to others through your service to humanity. Maya Angelou once said, I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. I hope today I've made you feel special. All of you are amazing and awesome, and it's hard to say goodbye sometimes. So I hope, excuse me, you are the future, all right? You are the future. Go and make your voices heard. I, for one, cannot wait to listen. Thank you.
And now our choral selection, For Good, by Stephen Schwartz.
I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn, and we are led to those who help us most grow if we let them, and we help them in return. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I'm who I am today because I knew you.
Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes the sun, like a stream that feeds a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better?
Because I knew you, I have been changed for good. It well may be that we will never meet again in this lifetime, so let me say before we part, so much of me is made of what I learned from you. You'll be with me like a handprint on my heart. And now whatever way our stories end, I know you have rewritten mine by being my friend.
Like a ship blown from its mooring by a wind off the sea, like a sea drop by a skybird in a distant wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better?
But because I knew you, because I knew you, I have been changed for good.
And just to clear the air, I ask forgiveness for the things I've done you blame me for. But then I guess we know there's blame to share.
And none of it seems to matter anymore. All we live is morning by a wind off the sea, like a sea drop by a bird in the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? I do believe I have been changed for the better. Because I know you. Because I knew you. Because I knew you. I have been changed. For good.
Next, we'll hear comments from Mr. Michael Munoz, Superintendent of Rochester Public Schools.
Today is a special day as we recognize our 2021 graduates. It's extra special for me since this is my last graduating class as superintendent of Rochester Public Schools. Graduates, it truly has been a challenging year for you due to the pandemic. Distance learning worked well for some and not so well for others. But throughout this school year, you demonstrated resiliency. The dictionary defines resilient as a person able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions. I think we can all agree that this year created difficult conditions for all of us. But you all have withstood the conditions and made it to here today at graduation. I'd like to share with you a poem that was written by Amy Ike, who is a colleague of mine, entitled Milestone. After miles traveled and stones thrown, some said you couldn't, wouldn't, shouldn't. But you rose and pushed across the road and bridge and up the mountainside toward dreams that lie beyond. You worked and learned and worked and learned and laughed and cried with fellow learners and teacher friends who cared whether you reached the top. And here you are at the peak, arms up and shouting, I did it. You did it. You reached to the top. Stop now and look back at all you did. Pause and ponder before you turn to see what is next. We know what might be out there, more mountains, but easier to scale now that you know the path and tools. But first there is the downhill ride, a rest from the work, building momentum for your next success. Take a breath, touch the clouds, and enjoy the ride. I wish all of you good luck as you move to your next success. Thank you for everything you've done for our district and our community, and congratulations, Rochester Public Schools graduates of 2021.
Graduates of the Century Class of 2021, it is an honor to be here today to celebrate you and your accomplishments. We know that this is a moment in time that you will remember as the year of the pandemic, yet it's so much more, and each of you have played an important role in it. My encouragement to you is to thank all the people who have supported you along the way, your families, your teachers, your peers, and be ready to embrace the people and places you've yet to experience on your journey. Give yourself and others grace. Bask in today's joy for this powerful achievement. Despite the year behind you, you did it. We want to take this time to recognize our seniors who have made commitments to serve our country in the military. These students are Allison Nelson, going into the Navy, Bryce Nelson into the Marines, Luke Novotny going into the Navy, Amelia Bowe in the Army, Brian Folkert, Air Force Academy, Jake Sheffers, Marine Corps, and Marshall Gossie Graham going into the National Guard. Please join me in thanking them. Director Nathan, it is my privilege as interim principal of Rochester Century High School to present to you the 381 graduates of the graduating class of 2021. They have successfully met all requirements for their diploma as set forth by the Minnesota Department of Education and the Board of Education of Rochester Public Schools. We are very proud of each and every one of our Panthers.
Graduates, we will all remember this year as being one like no other. But the class of 2021 will be remembered for your perseverance through adversity, for speaking up for yourselves and speaking out to benefit others, and for the unique skills, talents, and perspectives that have enhanced this Century community. You all conquered the challenges before you to achieve this important life milestone, and we are confident in your abilities to achieve any goals that lie ahead. We know the world will be a better place because you will lead with what you have learned in your head and because of what you have shown us is in your hearts. On behalf of the Rochester School Board, it is with great pleasure that I accept the Century High School class of 2021 as having met all the requirements for graduation from Rochester Public Schools. Congratulations to you all.
Out of respect for all graduates, we ask that you hold your applause and cheering until all diplomas have been awarded. Abbas Abdallah. Nawal Abdirahman. Gufran Al-Jamali. Sierra Albrecht. Isha Ali. Aliyah Ali. Tirza Asur. Aiden Austin. Anam Awad. Alexandra Bancos. Kenzie Bilo. Micah Bergen. Daniel Berglund. Amelia Bow. Pear Boyum. Quinton Brady. Alexander Buchan. Samuel Burmester. Salma Kamir. Eric Cahigas. Ryan Campbell. Andrew Tao. Austin Cerruti. Joshua Christensen. Akuch Chor. Alan Cole. Autumn Danielson. Eve Danielson. Sarvika Dasari. Noah Diedrich. Jackson Dixon. Catherine Dierauer. Andre Deason. Jason Dong. Martha Doherty. Lauren Dwyer. Nathan Eberhardt. Jacob Alegbede. Gwendolyn Elgin. Dakota Elliott. Basil Elmalake. Molly Engel. Tegan Erickson. Matthew Felt. Sophia Ferguson. Brian Folkert. Talon Frank. Jakin Fratsky. Scott Graham. Enric Guerrero. Nicholas Haas. Joshua Hansen. Yusra Hassan. Sean Hawkins. Adonis Hayden. Cole Hine. Carolyn Henderson. Ella Henriksen. Ellis Hogan. Chloe Hooten. Isaiah Huber. Kate Hoos. Garrison Israelson. Lauren Janetto. Reese Jensen. Donovan Johnson. Dawson Cadlick. Paul Walsha Khan. Adam Kimmis. Aiden Klein. Justin Kopp. Monica Kramer. Audrey Cranebell. Elijah Kraus. Hunter Krijan. Matthew Landon. Andrew Langamo. Riley Langer. Hannah Larson. Stephanie Lynn. Emma Lundquist. Peter Lynch. Daniel Ma. Owen McDonald. Nabila Mohammed. Hayden Martin. Arhan Mehta. Ashlyn Meinke. Marcus Melsness. Yongshen Men. Carrie Ming Lin. Kylie Ming Lin. Justin Michaels. Gavin Moline. Anya Miller. Samuel Mobley. Isa Mohammed. Muna Muhammad. Olivia Moore. Elliot Moreland. Christopher Moriel. William Morrissey. Lutza Moses. Lauren Murphy. Derek Wynn. Nyaquin Wynn. Logan Oliver. Wyatt Olson. Paxton Pagel. Eva Pankratz. Rohan Parkish. Brian Pouts. Kirk Peterson. Margaret Peters. Ella Radman. Carson Redmond. Keith Rittenhouse. Kirsten Ritz. Andrea Romanesco. Elijah Romero. Richard Saar III. Giovanni Sagastume. Rukio Said. Jake Sheffers. Rachel Schmitz. Anne Scripture. Derek Shamblin. William Sitt. Bopita Smun. Gabriel Sokolovsky. Adeline Spaeth. Alyssa Spores. Jalen Tamty. Dominic Tankenving. Tommy Tankenving. Chase Tenner. Pranay Thapa. Ratha Tim. Joseph Truskowski. Rhea Vermilia. Yuli Ward. Jacob Watson. Annika Weber. Benjamin Weimer. Nora Will. Stephen Wu. Samuel Yilma. Nathan Yim. Warda Yusuf. Michelle Zhang.
Graduates, you are official. At this time, please move your tassel to the left. Parents, please exit the same way that you came in and meet your students out front.